All right, so Cuban obviously is now dominating the cycle for what he said about women. A lot of reaction are coming forward. We want to bring in now host of the Trish Regan show, Trish Regan, to talk about this. And obviously, Trish, we're strong, intelligent women. And his comments, he's now going and trying to clarify because he knows what he did, not just to Kamala, but to so many people, the insult. I just want to put this up because we didn't get to this with Congressman Style. I apologize. So now he's apologized to anyone who felt slighted or upset. As I said, it wasn't about Trump voters, supporters, or employees, current or former. I set myself for the 6-second soundbite. No excuses. Can't nail every interview. My skin is thick enough. Your reaction?
Well, Mark's not that bright himself, now is he? I mean, what a dumb, I could say more, I won't, thing to say. Really, really dumb thing to say. I mean, it's like he's trying to upstage Biden somehow. I mean, maybe they're all just secretly hoping, Bianca, they can elect Trump because he would be better for our economy, hands down, from tax policy to border policy to international policy. So, I'm wondering if, there's some deep-rooted psychological reason for doing such stupid things, whether you be Biden calling Trump supporters garbage or Mark Cuban trying to insinuate that any woman who would support Donald Trump is somehow dumb. That is so beyond the pale. It is wrong. It's disgusting. But you know what, Bianca? It tells you how they think.
Yeah.
Right? If you're not on our side, then you are the enemy. You are garbage. You are dumb. Only intelligent people are for our side. So you must be stupid if you're for the other side. I mean, we don't look at, well, I did just call him dumb, right? I was going to say, we don't really look at the other side that way. I try to be very open with people. I think we can have fair dialogues, but how does that happen when they're willing to shut you down?
And the thing too, Trish, it's name calling. If I feel like I'm back in middle school, like this is Mean Girls, and I think it might be intentional with Joe Biden. I think Mark Cuban really wants a job, maybe as the SEC. So I don't know if he did intentionally, but he was also saying some weird things about how they have big hearts. That's why they opened the border. Nonetheless, a lot of reaction. And
No. And that kind of stuff really ticks me off. Yeah. Bianca, only because you think about it, if you really have a big heart, sometimes tough love is the way to go. You think about all the kids that get compromised as a result of some of these policies. People are incentivized. We talk about the law of unintended consequences. They've got economic incentives to send their kids here, and yet oftentimes they're putting their kids in harm's way. I mean, you actually need a real system. You can't be having people come in illegally over the border. And why is this so wrong or tough or heartless to say, wait, we want an actual system and let's bring immigrants into the country through this well-checked, regulated system?
No, and today the suspect accused of murdering Laken Riley goes on trial too. So there's heartbreaking story after another. I agree. They don't want to talk about the missing 320,000 children at the border. But here's a woman who stood up for Kamala Harris. Of course, it's a celebrity. Today she'll be with Cardi B, but it was Jennifer Lopez campaigning in Las Vegas. And we'll play a little bit of what she said to the crowd gathered for Kamala.
Look, I'm a lover, okay? You guys know that about me. I'm a lover. I am not a fighter. I am not here to trash anyone or bring them down. I know what that can feel like, and I wouldn't do it to my worst enemy, or even when facing the biggest adversary I think America has internally ever had.
Pretty good acting. She's not an Oscar award-winning actress, but really to say these things and to be cutting out. Did you?
She's got like a lock on the romantic comedy stuff. Yeah. Look, she is an actress. People should remember that. She's absolutely an actress. And in Hollywood, you're only going to be employed. You're only going to get gigs if you're on their side of the aisle. They have that completely locked up. I think it was, a great acting message. It was well articulated. How much does it matter at this point? Look, we're coming up on the eve of the election. You've looked at the polls. I've looked at the polls. Bianca, we've looked at the prediction markets. I think it's actually, and I want to be careful about saying this, but I think he's got a real good shot of winning this thing. And they're trying to pull out all the stops. And they think that J-Lo on the margin is going to help. J-Lo, who let's just say the ex has a rather
P. Diddy.
sketchy past.
P.
with
Diddy, yeah.
women, okay? Like, if we're going to say, like, you know, is Trump surrounding himself with intelligent women? I mean, I'm sure J-Lo is very, obviously, clearly super successful at what she does. And she's a great actress. And she's a great dancer and all that stuff. But I'm not saying she's got the best choice in men.
Right.
Nor does Kamala, for that matter.
Kettle Black. And also, we have just about a minute, but I just want to touch on this jobs report, last one before the election. Weakest pace since late 2020. And we know the Labor Department has revised the last two jobs reports. They like to use fuzzy math here, but this tells us the state of the economy under Biden-Harris. I mean, this is the last report. It's damaging. August report was also down. September was down. We see the trend. This is really the pocketbook issues for so many Americans.
It is, and I think that's what's happened. In other words, under normal circumstances, if the economy were flying high and people were really happy with the future direction of the country, then maybe Donald Trump wouldn't have this kind of showing. But the reality is people are up against it. They're hurting. You've got massive inflation. Look at the inflation in the swing states. It's roughly 20% everywhere you go. People aren't making enough money. And if anything, they're in jeopardy of losing their jobs as new jobs numbers come out less than stellar. On top of which, you've got economic growth that, frankly, is less than stellar. It declined in the latest quarter, according to the latest GDP read. So you have a really miserable economic situation. And so people are like, hey, wait a second. You know, he's a proven entity. We had wage growth. We had moderate inflation. Right. I mean, other than shutting down the country during March 2020, things were pretty darn good. And so I think they're going back to that and saying, okay, I need to get back to that place when I could fill my gas tank in my car and I had enough money to feed my family and go on vacation.
Right. Something J-Lo is not worried about. And I think the more she shows with celebrities, the worse it is, because the economy is definitely on the ballot in 4 days. Trish Regan, thanks so much for being with us. Always good to see you.
Bianca.
Yeah, thanks. Talk to you soon.